All right, boys, we're back.
We're here.
So you got,
Again.
I see you got a blue can over.
You got a blue can after hours.
You're not going to share that one with me, are you?
Oh, I got one if you want to try one, but
Oh, it's
I don't know
that
if you
blue
like
can.
the flavor.
That'd be a whole different podcast.
Yeah, I got a water.
Mike's first time drinking.
Yeah. Oh, boy, that would be a good
that'd be
podcast.
good. I tell you, the perfect spot for that's Vegas.
Oh,
But I ain't
no.
going to be there babysitting none of you.
You know, if it would happen, he'd have man behind the scenes as my hero as a tattoo.
No, I've never been drunk. See, okay, you guys got to vouch for me. I don't drink.
No, you don't drink.
I've never seen you drink.
I got enough friends that drink enough for both of me, so I don't need to drink.
Yeah.
But if I was going to get drunk, I don't think Vegas is going to be the best place to do it with you as a group of parental people.
I'm a very good babysitter.
We want to talk about you want to talk about your babysitting adventures?
Yes, he is very good.
Should we talk about this?
Oh,
It was all good until he decided to go to mixed drinks.
Who was in charge?
He could order his own
Who
drinks.
was in charge?
I got him back
Yeah.
to the room, didn't I?
oh, somebody did. I don't remember that.
I'm sure we've
Yeah.
told this story before, but we'll hit on it real quick.
Yeah.
So we're in
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah.
You'd never been to Vegas.
Nope.
Farmer Chris's second time in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were at the World of Concrete.
Yeah.
Me and Matt had to stay at the convention for an after-hours event.
Yep.
We were only in Vegas for 48 hours?
We was in Vegas 48 hours, and we slept 4 hours.
Yeah.
And Aaron wanted to go see the town, so I told Farmer Chris, I said, you're in charge of Aaron, go see the town.
And for only being out there a couple times, he knew the town pretty good.
Yeah. Everywhere he'd go.
By the time I got there, you were the expert.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was, wasn't I?
I know we got back to Hooters. He wasn't very happy with either one of us.
I get a text about 7 o'clock. This is from Chris. I get a text. We're in trouble.
Aaron's
I didn't
drinking
know.
heavy.
I didn't know if we lost you, you were locked up, or what your deal was. You're like wound tight like a jack in the box is the best way to put it.
Oh, yeah.
Him
yeah.
getting that tattoo was the best. So that was hilarious.
Oh, that was. And then when he took off, we finally got some food into him at Hooters, and he was like running man.
Let's go do it again.
Let's
Yeah.
go do it again.
Yeah.
He knew how to get to the monorail. Then he hijacked some security guard in I guess that was a Bally's,
Ballard's, yeah.
trying to find the strip. He was walking around in circles trying to find the strip. Finally found the strip.
Oh, I've had a good time both times I've went. So
I'm
really
Should we hit on Logger Wade's first time? Because you were in charge of babysitting him then too and failed.
Logger Wade's in pretty good shape.
I'm thinking I feel like a victim now.
I'm not the one we talk about this. Maybe Chris is the problem. I knew we were in
Well,
trouble.
y'all go down Fremont Street, and you head back early. You and Jenna.
Yeah,
Captain had already left.
yeah.
So it was me, Wade, and Ann, and Blue Line
Blue Line
Landmark.
Landmarks, yeah.
So we hammered pretty good at Fremont Street. For some reason, we ended up at the Stratosphere at 3 o'clock in the morning.
All I know is me and Wade are supposed to go to the Volvo booth at 7 o'clock, and me and Wade are sharing a hotel room. So I wake up at 7. Oh, of course, I say a hotel room. We're sharing a place, but there's 2 different bedrooms.
Yeah.
So I wake up 6:30 to go get on the monorail to go over there. Wade ain't nowhere to be found. I wait around for him 10 or 15 minutes, no Wade. I checked my phone and it said Wade checked into the Stratosphere at 3 a.m. I thought, well, he's done. I'm out. I didn't even wait no more after that.
We got an Uber to take us from Stratosphere. And I was at a different hotel than what you guys were. He drops Wade off. Wade says he's too drunk to walk across the street. He makes an Uber do a U-turn in the street and drop him off on the same side of the street as his hotel.
And I'm sure Wade wasn't asking quietly at 3 a.m.
No.
in the morning.
I actually beat Wade to Volvo
Yes, you did.
because Wade forgot his pass the first time and had to go back and get it. And he goes, how you getting along? It was pretty tough for me to say I was doing fine, but
But he did.
I did.
Well, I think the second night in Vegas is Matt, Mr. Millennial, decided he was going to try to outdrink Farmer Chris.
He succeeded. I will admit, he succeeded. But he was buying. I think he's buying me double shots and he was buying single shots.
Oh, I don't know.
I somewhat remember the second night. I stayed sober.
I just remember the plane ride home.
I just remember some of the characters dancing out at the Fremont Street.
All right, this podcast has went way off the rails.
Yep.
This is like the theme of these
We always do
podcasts.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get off on
the rail. Maybe we need to have one about.
Maybe we
getting off
should
the
start
rail.
off the rail and then hopefully we get on it by the end.
Yeah.
That'd be a good. So what are we talking about today? We had a guest scheduled,
We had a guest
and
scheduled.
your guest was going to team up on me.
Yeah,
I guess we can tease the guest a little bit. You want
I
to
was
do
all
that?
for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. I don't know if we need to let the cat out of the bag all the way yet or not, but he misunderstood what tomorrow was. I texted him yesterday saying tomorrow.
You know what? That's going to play into my favor on this podcast. Don't you think it's
Because he's
not?
an engineer and he can't figure out what tomorrow
Damn
is.
straight.
Boy, I wish I was here tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is my point exactly.
So his tomorrow is tomorrow from today. And I texted him last night.
Because he read the text today.
Yeah, I texted him last night. He read the text today, and when he see
That
tomorrow,
sounds just like just like an engineer that would work at Cummins.
I guess I need to put Wednesday instead of tomorrow. You know, on there. But, I think we're going to discuss the social media world.
Yeah, so I figured we'd take this opportunity to discuss the good, bad, and ugly of social media. And I think we can, with this group we got sitting here, we can look at this from a lot of different ways. From all of us are on social media to some extent. Mm-hmm. All of us use social media as entertainment to some extent.
Yes.
I know, I'm a boy. And I think all of us use social media as a research tool.
I was going to say education.
Education.
Yeah.
So along with that, I guess, like, I could be completely off base here, but I feel like we got a little bit of a unique perspective because we're kind of on both sides of it. Mm-hmm. We create some of the content that's used as education. We create some of the content that's used as entertainment. And we also use social media for those things exactly. So with all that being said, where do you want to jump in on this at?
Well, I mean, we got to respect social media for what it is. I mean, I think as the personalities we got here in the Derby area, we do a pretty good job
Right.
showing real life in a rural community.
I
But
think
there's some that can manipulate things, I guess, and lead people down the wrong path.
Yeah, I guess kind of going back and forth. I'm just going to jump back and forth on both sides of the fence. I think one of the awesome things about social media is how you can connect with people and how fast you can get information out there. You look at you go back, I don't know, 25 years ago, and we were still relying on print newspaper, and all the news was 3 days behind at best case scenario, where now it's almost instant.
Yeah, it's spitting out
But
almost too fast sometimes.
That creates a whole other problem in itself, right? Because now it's not a news outlet reporting, it's anybody that's got an iPhone reporting.
Yep.
And I think you got to be on the bad side. You got to be so careful about, let's talk about current event, the train derailment.
Yep. Yeah.
There's so many TikToks and stuff I've seen where people are just, like on TikTok, you go with trending, right? Well, the train derailment's trending. So people are doing all kinds of crazy stuff, like putting an apple in tap water and then setting it on the counter and checking it 3 days. It's going to do that whether it's in tap water or not. It's going to look rotten the next day. You know what I mean?
It aggravates me so much. You see something on Facebook. Oh, man, did that really happen? And then you go Google,
Nothing.
and nothing's happened. It's
Right.
just somebody's made up some make-believe.
And then you see all these TikToks
Clickbait.
with film on the water, which I'm not saying there's not film on the water. There might be there. But you know how easy that is to
get done.
get done?
Yeah.
I mean, like one drop of oil and you can film whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's like the weather guy standing out there in knee-deep water and there's a hurricane going on. There's a guy riding his bicycle in the background like it's a nice spring day. You know what I mean? So I guess with that being said, you really got to pay. Like, what you see, don't take for gospel. Like,
And I'm going to say, when you see one, don't group everybody in
Together.
that category either. So.
good thing
Good thing the water ain't turning right now. Oh man,
Well,
you know how that water when it turns black,
Oh.
turns over. You know,
mentioned
when
the
you're-
train derailment.
Yeah,
you know,
that
my
train
brother
derailment.
John hauls water from Tell City. He's wanting to go down and get a load of water this evening. He said Evansville's monitoring the water in the Ohio River because it should be passing us
Right
about
now.
I don't know if I want to go get a load of water. They got wells. I mean, it's got a freaking
It's a
filter
natural
through
filter, yeah.
a half-mile dirt to even get to the well.
And it's gonna, by the time it gets to us, it's gonna go down. Like, do the research. It's gonna go be here and gone so fast. I don't know if there'll be any residual. Your brother's like he's the king of doomsday.
Oh yeah, he's a dude.
He's out there wearing a tinfoil hat, hoping he don't get acid rain on him. And
The solution to pollution is dilution. It's so diluted time it gets down here.
yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing that we have no control over whatsoever, and every platform is different. So I don't want to call out one particular platform, but they all operate in similar ways. Is if you go down a rabbit hole, they're going to keep feeding you.
Yeah.
They're going to keep feeding you rabbit food. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So if you start watching on Trained Around One, or if you start watching something on Russia, or you start watching something on, I don't know, food poisoning, the next.
And it transfers from one app to the other. It knows what you're watching and feeds
Right.
off of it.
So, or if you lean, lean to the left or lean to the right or whatever, like whatever you spend the most time watching is what they're going to continue to cram down your throat. You got to keep in mind, guys, these apps are trying to sell ads. They sell ads based on how long you watch. So if they know what you're going to watch longer than something else, they're going to keep that in front
They're
of
going
you.
to feed that to you.
And they're going to keep going and keep going and keep going.
And then I'm up until midnight.
And then drama and negativity feeds into that then.
Right.
The more drama you see,
And
the more.
we've all been guilty of it, but and there's some cool life hacks. There's some cool stuff you can learn, but there's as much misinformation out there as what there is
Good information.
Good information. Does that
Yep.
Yeah.
make? I feel like you want to say something over there.
I do.
I can tell he's like, yeah. Now or don't wait.
It's just like I was watching and I seen him put the cellophane down on the toilet, and on one of them ads. I'd never seen it before, but I seen him do it, and I was wanting to do that underneath the toilet lid when we were out at Vegas last time. Not bring that up, but that was what I seen on there that I've been wanting to get him so bad on.
I still like. You want to talk about that? You want to talk about your tattoo when you came out of the bathroom
No,
and
we're
realized
not
you had ink everywhere, and the first place you looked was.
Yeah. He's supposed to have ink on his side. He come out and he had it on his hand.
Good example. This is a bad time for social media. This is where social media don't need to be seeing this stuff.
I seen a sticker one time that said, "No social media drunk."
But
I think I'll behave myself.
For me, TikTok can be addicting. You make one or two swipes, 2 hours later, you're still making swipes. I mean, you're sitting there watching through them. So.
Some of the stuff on there. I mean, there's some good stuff on there, but you got to keep swiping to find it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, you guys that follow me, I'm bigger on YouTube than anywhere, and I do some TikTok, but.
Yeah, speaking of which, you pulled a good one up today.
Which one was
That laser welding that I got hooked on.
yeah.
Now I'm going to be watching these videos, but laser welding is what he pulled up today. Something different, new. I ain't never seen it, but it was pretty neat. So now I know I'm going to be getting hooked on them videos. But.
There's a individual from Australia. He runs Facebook, Facebook clips, videos. I forgot what-
Reels.
Yeah.
He's from Australia and runs a machine shop. And
Cutting edge.
Cutting edge.
Yeah.
I get addicted and sucked into them and just find it fascinating what he can do with metal. Now that, and I find educational,
Yeah. So I guess to continue on down our path here, as far as I just caution everybody, like, don't believe everything you see. And if you're, like, don't take it to heart. Like, if you see something and you question it, like, we have so much information in our fingertips. Like, take 5 minutes and research it.
Yep.
And keep going from there and see what else comes out of it. I guess the next realm would be educational.
Yeah.
And this kind of falls. We can kind of talk both sides about this a little bit. So I know a lot of people, which is the reason why we get some of the sponsorships we do, when they're going to make a big or small purchase, the first thing they do is go to YouTube or Google and look for videos or information that's been posted about this product, whether it be a new detergent, a new vacuum cleaner, a new pressure washer, a new excavator. I think there's so much stuff available on social media now, you can almost make a decision about what you want before you ever show up at a dealership to demo one.
I agree on that. Yeah. But whatever. He's squirming, ain't he?
I can't stand it. He brings up a washer and dryer. Maybe he should have watched videos before we just installed one here a week ago when he forgets to put the legs on it.
Why do they put the legs inside? That's the last place you look for assembly.
Oh, I'm glad.
If he wouldn't have been so hard-headed, they would have delivered it and set it up for him.
Oh,
also.
Don't get me started on this one, Farmer Chris. We're going down a bad road on this one.
Washer and dryer, though. I mean,
well, think about. My mom YouTubes on how to fix her dryer.
Yeah.
You know, how many products have you found farming? You've found through social media.
Well, lots of products, but even how to fix some of these products, or a code, or what's a code on a skid steer,
right?
How do you reset the service light on a tractor or something? I mean, it's just quick. You punch a few buttons, and I don't have to call a dealer and mess with them. Do it on my own time and keep going.
But what's really cool about those videos is that somebody of your education and mindset level doing that.
Yeah.
Because you get the guys that are from the factory or the techie guys, and they're just reciting the book, and they built it so it makes sense the way they're saying it, but it don't make sense the way we're using it. Does that make sense?
Well, the last instance I really used YouTube quite a bit is in the New Holland. They all had to do it, but one of our GPS satellites they put out of commission last year.
Okay.
Put in a new satellite, so then we had to go into all of our GPS and tell it to ignore this satellite and start picking up this satellite. Like 40 buttons through the program you got to go through.
Really?
YouTube. I just went line by line, went right through there, picked it up, and was going.
Yeah. There's, whenever I'm looking for different equipment, looking for different tools, you talked about the attachments. You're talking about the laser welder.
Yeah.
That's something we were researching on YouTube and kind of getting the ins and outs of it. I mean, I think you have to know enough about the product to know what they are showing you and not showing you.
Yeah.
Which is really nice about the, I don't want to say non-sponsored videos, but that you can tell, like the guy we were watching today, you can tell he's a legit welder.
Yeah.
He's welded a lot of different ways. He's just not a salesman that showed up.
Yep.
And so I think you got to kind of I can't say that word. Tell the difference. We'll go that way. Tell the difference between who really knows what they're talking about and who's not. And I don't think it's that hard at all to really kind of figure out who's who or what's what. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
that's the big thing is what you do see on there. Sit back and think about it. See if it is make logic sense.
It's like we were discussing in that video. It was all clean metal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All clean. So how would it run on something like tying into, say you're putting a bed on a truck or you're welding on the bed, of a semi or something, or, a dump truck? What would it run like air? That's what I want to see next.
Which I think... So two things about the videos we post, or at least on the Dirt Perfect channel for the most part. One, sometimes I find myself explaining the simplest, most elementary thing ever to what we do. But I'm going to use the example, I watch a lot of aviation videos. I know for a fact they're explaining the bare basic, simplest thing ever, the most elementary thing, but that's what I need to understand the rest of the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes whenever we're doing stuff, I feel like I really need to be talking about this. This is like beginner level, but I feel like people really appreciate that because there's people watching it that are on beginner level. That may be the first videos of ours they watch, and it helps them understand the rest of the process, knowing what that one random technical term was in the beginning. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So
we can get accustomed to slogans or terms that we're accustomed to that somebody else is not familiar.
Especially in the aviation industry, they got an acronym for everything. And if somebody don't tell you what that acronym is, you are lost. Like TOGA. You know what TOGA means?
Toga.
It's takeoff or go around thrust.
Oh, yeah, okay. Now we're talking. Yeah.
So, but if somebody don't tell you that, like, I mean, to a pilot,
Yeah.
that's the most elementary thing ever. But to me, like, why are you hitting the toga button? Does a white sheet come out of the top of the,
The couple years ago, I had a banker tell me I needed to fill out a 1231.
Yeah.
Fill out a 1231. Okay, it's a form. Fill out this form 1231. I said, do I Google 1231? Where do I get this form? What? I've never seen this form. No, it's a December 31st balance sheet every year. 1231. Fill out a 1231. It's just a balance sheet, but he was using the term 1231.
Yeah.
But he wants it done the same date every year, so you get a true snapshot of how your operation did.
The other thing is, we get a lot of comments on videos and stuff, and I think what we got to realize as creators sometimes is we're teaching and we don't even know. Mm-hmm. Like, just in general conversation or a simple technique or whatever, people are watching and catching up on, and I don't know if you necessarily need to be aware of that, but I don't think it hurts to kind of. Some people leave holes in their project, and I've been guilty of it before too, but I try to. Like, if I skipped filming a part, at least try to take the time to explain it so somebody could put that whole picture together in their head.
Yeah.
What happened in between?
I know, like, here in the shop, it's hard to film every second of everything. And some of it's just monotonous work.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of time-lapse stuff so people can kind of see what's going on. But if we don't show it, we usually take a couple seconds or a minute and talk through.
Explain it.
Talk through why we did what we did or what our thought process was to go behind. Curious your guys' thoughts on this, but I feel like to be taken serious and let me back this up. It drives me crazy whenever people do stuff on YouTube and it's always perfect. Because that is not reality.
No,
it isn't. A matter of fact, you caught me in another fail today. It wasn't but a couple weeks ago. You had me in another fail.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've screwed some stuff up, like some stacks on Bubba Dump.
Yep. Should have listened to me. But yes, that's what I like about it. I like just being real.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it makes you more credible.
Yeah.
Like, listen, these guys screwed up. They told you they screwed up. They fixed it. And here's take 2 or round 2 or whatever it is, or here's how we went about fixing it.
Yep.
If you're recording perfect videos, you're not in my world. So
Right. So who are we talking about this with somebody else with another channel that they were trying to film. This was Captain Kleeman, I think we were talking about this, where they were trying to film high quality videos, like a high production video. But their production wasn't quite there, but it was too good to be amateur level.
Yeah.
And it kind of put them in a weird zone. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Where, I mean, my videos are by no means high production level, but I think they're good reality is kind of what I try to stick with. I think Chris Let's Dig 18 falls into that same category as just a good watchable video.
Yep.
As far as educational means, since COVID has come around, people's curious where their food comes from.
Yep.
And that's where the ag videos, I think, has really took off on educational purposes.
Well, that was the whole reason Zach Millennial Farmer started his channel, was just that there was so many misconceptions about ag.
I feel like there's so many out there that, why am I recording it? But I farm different than my neighbor. I farm different than Zach. I farm different than Brian, but everybody's still curious and stays involved. So.
Yeah, one of my goals of starting my channel was, I always use this as an example, is you show up somebody's house with a mini excavator for 3 hours and charge them $700, and they're like, well, you're only here for 3 hours. Well, I've only maybe were on your job for 3 hours, but that's a very expensive truck it took to get there. I had to maintain that truck. There's a lot of liability being on the road, and it may have taken me 2 hours to load up, an hour to get there, 3 hours to do the job, an hour to get home, and an hour to unload. Well, I just put in an 8-hour day.
8-hour day on a small job.
On a small job, you know what I mean? So I'm not trying to take advantage of nobody, but I worked a whole lot more
It's all
than
got to be paid for.
I worked a whole lot more than those 3 hours that I was just there. So taking this back to the educational route, I try to kind of show that hey, there's more to what we do than what you see.
And
Sometimes,
just showing up.
yeah, sometimes actually doing the job is the easiest part.
Yeah.
Is the easiest part of the job. So, a lot of different ways you can look at that, and I think the farmers are kind of the same way. There's a lot more to farming than what
Oh, yeah.
meets the eye. A whole lot more goes into it.
I wish I had time to record and edit more than what I do, but it's hard. It's hard when you're running such a lean crew already. So
Yeah.
I know you say it can be done, but
Well, I know you run hard, Farmer Chris, but I don't think we're too far behind you.
no.
I got a little more downtime in the wintertime, but
Well, when you you shut your job down at 4 o'clock and shut your machine off, it's done for the day. It don't need to be fed, don't need to be watered, it don't need to be doctored, and
But
He's
the
obviously-
problem,
he's
the
obviously
problem
not-
with
but you
him
got
is
he break down.
we get done. He's like, all right, we got time to get back to shop. We got about an hour. We can get this project done. Next thing I know, we're looking out and it's 1:30 in the morning. hey, Michael, is there any way we can start about an hour too late? Yeah.
no, I'm not going to discredit. You got the livestock, and it's you got a schedule you got to maintain no matter what. But which
We're under Mother Nature's schedule, and
Yeah.
you still work around the weather, but
a little bit, not
if
quite.
you don't get this pond done by May, it ain't going to affect your whole year after that.
Right,
You just
right.
move on to something
yeah,
else.
versus your crop if they don't hit that planting window,
Yeah.
you're in absolute trouble. so
Your time schedules are a lot more critical than ours, to an extent.
time windows would be
Time windows,
yeah.
yeah. He's got very crucial.
But I just still find it curious that somebody wants to watch a video over what you're doing or what I'm doing. I mean, it's just that's
We hit a little bit on this. I think I hit this on the podcast with John from Upstate Brush
yeah.
Control. I think a lot of viewers find us for whatever reason, and it can be us, it can be any other channel. But I think at some point, it don't matter what you're doing, they get invested in you. They get invested in our relationships or our projects or what we're doing, and obviously the filler, which is the job, needs to be somewhat entertaining and somewhat productive. But I think we could be blowing up balloons and for having a good time doing it.
real time reality.
Real time reality, yeah, that's the best way to.
Everybody's tired of this Hollywood fake stuff, but
Yep.
maybe we're putting all them in the same category. Also, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think on YouTube. So somebody's going to correct me on this, and if you know the actual statistic, please comment down below and let me know. But it's only like 3% of channels on YouTube make it over 100,000 subscribers.
Okay.
So once you get to be a decent-sized channel, it kind of becomes a pretty close-knit community. I'm not saying I know everybody over 100,000 subscribers by any stretch of the imagination, but everybody that's in my industry,
Yep.
I kind of know. So we kind of bounce ideas off stuff of each other. And all of us go about it a little bit different, but I don't mean it's right or wrong. Some of them got higher production quality. Some of them got lower production quality. Some of them are more about the job. Some of them more about the lifestyle. Everybody kind of brings their own unique perspective into what we're doing, which is what I think, which is what I think it makes everybody have their unique timestamp. But where I'm going with this is like Logger Wade that was on Axemen, or Bobby Goodson that was on his TV show, or some of the Gold Rush guys. They have very little control over what is put out there.
Put on. Yep.
Where we got total control, which I think makes us true reality TV.
I agree with that for sure.
And I think one of the best things that happened for us is how much drama they put into that, and people started realizing that it was fake and staged, where I can't. Can you think of one thing we filmed on my channel that was staged? I've got accused of a few things, but we got accused of staging your combine in that hole.
Oh, yeah.
If they knew the way harvest schedule was,
I would not put that combine on hold and wait for you to go get a camera and come to me.
No.
Because I was needing to go.
Yeah, you were already pissed at me. I spent 15 minutes looking for a camera, but he's happy I didn't send him a bill. But I mean, seriously, can you think of one
That's
thing?
what I was trying to think. I don't don't think we've ever staged anything.
I
Really.
think the closest we've ever come to staging anything is maybe we missed a shot and tried to recreate it. And that's, I can maybe think of 2 or 3 scenarios.
Yeah.
There's been a few shots we missed, and we're like, we're just moving on. We're done.
Yeah.
Thanks,
The
GoPro.
only thing close I can think to staging anything was maybe somebody getting a D4 dozer stuck in a pond too. But
I wish that was staged.
You want to talk about stuff. Now, he tries setting people up for a good video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're good. Go ahead. Go ahead. Get a little closer to the edge. Yeah. Yeah.
no, it's
That's more of a setup, not a stage, but along them lines, he knows what's going to happen.
It's not possible for us to act
No.
or stage. We don't have time. You guys got to remember, whether it's Chris filming or me filming, our first job's excavating.
Yeah.
I mean, we get what video we can along the way. We don't work to film. We work to work, and then we film while we're working. Hopefully that
you
makes
know, and that's where I'm at on farming. I've got in my head, I've got to farm. I mean,
Right.
I've got to go. But filming ain't that hard. You know, you can throw a camera up
no. If
and
you do
move
it
it a couple
right,
times, but it
Yeah,
takes me more editing. The editing part is what kills me.
yeah.
We, I mean, that's like us. If it's going to slow, well, I get antsy, get aggravated. So it's going. We're going. We're going to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's something to where it ain't pressed for time and
Like today, moving equipment.
something like that, then it's a little bit different. But
But usually if you see a time lapse in our video, it's because I ain't got time to mess with it. It's time to hammer down, get some dirt moved, get whatever we're doing done,
Yep.
yada yada yada, and move on. So all right, I want to go transition here a little bit, and I guess this would be more from the not watching side, but from the creator side. And I feel like this is where a lot of people do really good, or a lot of people struggle. And it's sponsorships and pushing product. I got very, very simple guidelines for our channel. If it's something we use, and it has to be something that we believe is a decent product.
Yeah.
I'm not, I guess an example of that is Speedbinders was one of my first sponsorship deals. They come to me, said, hey, you want to try this new binder? I'm like, I'll give it a try. Like, let us know what you think. Basically, all I do is I go grab their speed binder instead of my normal binder, which I was going to use either way, and tell you what I think of it. There's no going out and making a trucking video because I need to make a trucking video for a speed binder. There's nothing like that. It's basically I'm going to use yours or I'm going to use mine. I'm going to film that video that day either way, and we're going to move on. And honestly, I've said this before. I first used a speed binder. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not. I thought it might be a gimmick. Here it is, 5 years later, and we're still using speed binders. They're not a gimmick. We're still using them.
now them still the original.
Yeah.
Still the original. I love them.
But let's just go. You want to go down this road a little bit?
I did see some of the old ones still on that trailer. I think you need some more, Aaron.
Well,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
kind of an issue.
That's
So let's
all
go
that.
down that road. So the original, I'm not going to say any names, but the original agreement I had was with the original owner of Speedbinders. Great guy. You guys probably know who he is if you watch my videos. He got a hold of me, and basically for an exchange of product, I promoted his product. He never put a stipulation on how many videos, what to say, anything. He said, hey, just use my Speedbinders if you're trucking. It was a very, very, very successful venture for him. Mm-hmm. He sold a lot of binders. He thanked me for it. Everything was good. Happy for the guy. He sold out to a corporate entity. I said, well, hey, let's talk to the corporate guys and the new owners, and we still love the product. We still use the product today.
Yep.
They approached me with a contract that, amongst some other things, they wanted me to post at least 3 videos a month. They wanted me to say certain things. Nothing that was like totally out there.
Yeah.
But here's what here's what happens is I wake up in the morning, I do what needs to be done.
Not what people tell you to do.
I don't wake up in the morning and think, dang, I need to make a Speedbinder video today. I guess we're trucking. No, if I need to truck that day, I truck. If I need to push dirt that day, I push dirt.
Yeah.
I can't.
Almost like you get back into the fake reality.
Yeah, and people, like if I had to go make a video that day for trucking just to make a Speedbinder video, they're going to know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it don't fall into
Because it don't fall into line with everything else we're doing.
You're doing. Yeah.
Now, let's go back to the other side of it. I get why they want structure and they want rules and they want this and they want that, but my argument is you're not going to get out of it what is possibly there by going down that road. I can't. I'm sure somebody out there will jump all over that deal. That's not that deal is not for me.
Yeah.
There's no way that fits into what we do. It breaks my rules.
There's a trucking company out there that could maybe make that work because that's all they're doing.
That's
is
all they're
trucking.
doing.
You
Right.
know, that's pretty easy
Right.
to do some videos on them.
I just wish, and I can give some other examples, but I wish that the people that have the ask understood what we do better. I excavate for a living and I post YouTube videos as a hobby. You're putting a contract on my hobby.
Yeah.
I want to work with you. I can help you. We can help each other, but I can't have my hands tied on my hobby. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you think they've put a contract on you because another creator has abused the
Well, let's go down that road.
of the rules?
So there's another company that I'm not going to name this company,
Yep.
but I approached this company at a trade show for some product. 5 gallon of their product costs what, $300 maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably so.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. And I've heard about their product. People have told me about their product. It's a well-known product. We needed their product. And I was talking to I think happened to be the owner of the company, pretty good sized company. And we were just having Matt was there for that conversation. We were just having a pretty good conversation. And honestly, I thought maybe I could help this guy out. I wasn't like trying to use my clout to get free product. I thought, hey, maybe this can be mutually beneficial for both of us. And I just asked the guy I said, have you guys considered any social media influencing marketing? And the conversation turned like that. This guy went all kinds of defensive on me, told me how he seen no value in what we did, basically called me a crap or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And the conversation went negative like the minute I said that. And I thought, well, all right, that's that. And, I kind of left there a little bit thinking somebody's put a bad taste in his mouth or he has no idea what he's talking about. However you want to look at it. But I didn't go on YouTube and blast the guy. I didn't post anything about it. Actually, I even went on Amazon and ordered some of his product because we needed it. I just let the dog lie. So fast forward, it was about 6 months later, we went to another trade show, farm machinery show, and they had a booth set up there, and it was different people in the booth. And the guy came out of the booth and approached me, and I don't know, you're standing there. I was pretty cordial with the guy. He asked me what name of my product, and I said no. I said, unfortunately, we're not interested. We had to go a different route. Like, I wasn't being mean or snub-nosed or anything like that. And he asked what the different route was, and I kind of told him, I said, hey, we live in the social media world, and we approached the owner of your company about doing something, and he told us there was no value in what we did, so we moved on. And that engaged a conversation, which was an eye-opener conversation to me for a little bit, because what he told me was, he said, we've had a bunch of these people approach us, these people being social media influencers, and they want money to do things. They want $6,000, $7,000 for a video or $10,000 for a video. And he says, I see no value in paying you $6,000, $7,000 for a video. And I'm like, whoa, back it up here. I said, I never asked for any money. I said, all I was asking was for $300 worth of product. I'd mention in a video. Let's start there and go somewhere. And then if you start selling a whole bunch of product, can we continue this conversation? Have something? He said, oh, that's an option.
So they grouped you with somebody
Right.
else.
So I know I've got a lot of counterparts out there that do social media for a living. Their job is to chase sponsorships. YouTube pays us, Facebook pays us, but there's a lot of money in sponsorships. And those guys go out there and chase sponsorship deals, and they want it paid rightfully so for them, which is fine. They have every right in the world to do that, but that's not how we operate. That's not how everybody operates. So, and there's no set way of how we do stuff. So if you got a small business out there and you got a product you want to push, you find the right guy that's interested in it, your entry may be more reasonable than what you think.
Yeah.
I don't mind sitting here telling you guys that Hyundai has never paid me a penny.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I've seen you have sponsorship deals that don't pay nothing and has no paperwork behind it.
Right.
And I've seen you rip up a 7-page contract from a large
global
company, just because their stuff didn't work for you.
Right. So let's go back to the Speedbinder thing. They wanted me to sign a 7-page contract and put all these stipulations on there for a $187 binder. I got a construction company that sent me a $750,000 machine. Said, have fun, Mike. We'll see you in 6 months.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, what makes more sense? One, that construction company gives me free reign to do or say whatever I want. I think, does that come with some trust maybe? Like they give you some trust that if they had one, I will take this back. They had one stipulation. If you have a problem, call us first. They didn't tell me I couldn't post the problem. They didn't tell me I couldn't talk about the problem. They just said, hey, call us first.
And they don't even want to view your videos before you post them.
Nope. They don't care about looking at the videos, doing anything. They just want exposure of the machine is all they want. So,
I might go off a rabbit path here. Social media, as in YouTube, TikTok, Facebook Reels, all these companies pay the promoter,
creator,
and they're getting paid from advertisement from companies.
Yeah, so the generic way it works, and of course I'm more familiar with YouTube, is whenever you guys watch the ads on our things, we get a percentage of that. Now, what you've got to be a little bit cautious of is Farmer Chris can get 1,000 views, and you may make $10. I can get 1,000 views, and I may make $5. Or I may make $20. So 1,000 views don't always equal the same number.
Everybody's got a score.
Everybody's got a score, and it has to do with, are you political, are you religious, do you have guns, do you cuss, are you kid-friendly, how much product are you pushing? YouTube has really changed that in the last probably 5 or 6 years as far as not grouping everybody together, but kind of individually scoring you to some extent. I'm not as familiar with Facebook and TikTok. I think it's a little bit more of just a pay-per-view type deal. It's not quite as diverse as what YouTube's AdSense is. But, some of these bigger guys, they make decent money off their revenue from their videos, but their real money is commission from products. Anybody that watches much YouTube can pretty much tell who's chasing commission and who's not. I guess I can't ignore the fact that I'm in a little bit of a unique position where I have a larger channel, but I still have a full-time excavating job. So we're not really chasing commission money or really chasing view money. We're just kind of riding the train. Does that make sense? Which is also why I don't pick up 2/3 of the sponsorships that come through my email or just ignore. I'm not promoting Chinese generators. I'm not promoting some South Korean impact. I just and especially if it's stuff that I got to make a one-off video on. Like I got the Hyperlight guy wanted me to make an entire video over putting lights in my new building. He was going to give me $300 worth of lights. That's an absolute waste of my time. I will buy you the lights. I will put them up. I will say whatever I want to say, and I'm way better off than making a whole video over.
Yep.
Like $300 isn't enough to sway my mind on whether or not you're going to make a video or not. I think I made the Hyperlight guy mad, but I'm like, just sell them to me. No.
Which light guy I ran into at the farm show, I was asking about some LED lights, and before I know, he done had the invoice wrote up and wanted me to sign it. I said, no, I'm just asking you a few questions.
So I'm curious what you guys think in the comment section. And we've talked about this several other times on the podcast, but I'm not going to mention any names, but I think it's quite obvious who chases sponsorship money and who don't. And I think the guys that don't chase sponsorship money honestly have a better success of selling because we're using it organically in the videos. We're using it when it needs to be used in our job. It's just like, let's just say Volvo sent me an excavator. Well, I'm either going to use their excavator or mine.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I ain't going to go out and make up an excavating job. It's just I use their tool instead of my tool, or my binder instead of their binder, or if somebody wanted to send you a welder, we'll use their welder instead of my welder. You know,
it's got to fit into your operation.
Yeah.
It's not worth chasing after.
And I think if it's organically in there and just being there is a better sales pitch than sitting there talking about it for 5 minutes or having a placed ad. You know, the only time I've ever did a placed ad is for Utility Equipment Expo, which they've been good to me, and they really liked what we did with the meet and greet. And they offered me some money for a 30-second ad, and that's the only one I did. But I'm going to the Utility Equipment Expo. I've been part of the Utility Equipment Expo. I had no issues doing that with them. They're helping promote me. I'm helping promote them. I guess being mutually beneficial is a pretty big
business.
Pretty big key as well.
I'm running around promoting agriculture all over the country, and I don't get paid nothing.
But I mean, social media overall is a great thing. Mm-hmm. But you got to know how to use it and how to respect it.
We use a lot of Facebook, the groups. I'm in cattle groups or equipment groups, so we can see a trend or an education piece that's coming down the pipeline to us before it even gets to us. So, or somebody's already dealt with it. We can get on top of it ahead of time. So that's our social media.
Well, you bring up another good point is we get so immersed in our own little world here in Perry County or Southern Indiana that there may be a whole new way of thinking 300 miles away or 3,000 miles away. And that's what social media can do is I guess that goes back into the educational part, right? Like, what are they doing? How are they farming in Nebraska or how are they farming in overseas or Brazil or whatever? And can any of that apply to what I'm doing here? I know excavating, some guys like overseas, everything's wheeled excavators and rototilts. But if you look at the type of excavating they're doing, it makes sense.
Yep.
If you look at the type of excavating we are doing, it don't make sense. Yep. You got to
whether it's social media or an in-person meeting, I get aggravated sometimes. I go to an in-person meeting and one guy sends up and wants to argue every topic the speaker's talking about, Like,
that's usually me.
Just I go listen. If I could pull one thing out of there that fits my operation, that's what I'll use. What other 48 things he's talking about ain't wrong. It just don't work in my operation.
Right. Well, to that point a little bit, that's one thing I've kind of always been cautious about doing, and I'm going to use a piece of equipment for example. There may be a tendency or a feature on a piece of equipment I do not like, despise it. But that may be just what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So I don't sit there bad-mouthing and trash it. I say, listen, I don't like it. I always give a reason why I don't like it, but it may be just what you're looking for. Because the next guy may be thinking, that's just a ticket for this random job I got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you get comments on your videos. Well, that's not how we do it. That's not how we do it over here.
Well, the famous one, try to do that in New York. That shit would never fly. Dude, I'm not in New York.
I'm not in New York.
I mean, like, why is that relevant to what I am doing? Like, I am not aware, or I'm not ignorant to the fact that people in different places have different regulations, but I'm not working where you are. So how does that technically apply technically apply to me. So what's I guess with all that being said, we're going to go to Aaron with the entertainment aspect. That's all you get out of
Entertainment.
He's been chomping at the bit to talk over here. I'm just loving to hear this part of the conversation.
No. I mean, you want to know something about like welding or modeling? That's where I fit in, and I watch and I see how things are done.
You know who I seen comment on my video the other day?
Oh boy,
Lefty's Garden.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything I heard for a while.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, as far as entertainment, yeah. I mean, there's one from like Whistling Diesel. I like watching a lot
I
of his
can't
stuff.
stand him.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
There's one thing.
Yeah, but you know what's great about social media? YouTube? You don't, have to watch it.
You don't
Yeah.
have to. That's what I like him. I just like the ideas. Now there are some things because I'm in old muscle cars and stuff. That was kind of oh no, why is he taking this truck out there? But it was just and to a certain extent, let's go back to the field tile. We built that boot and everything. It was all a trial and error.
Oh, yeah.
We were going to see what it could do, and he proved what it could do before.
I mean, if I had a penny for every comment that said, you're not an engineer or it'll never work,
yes,
I could have paid for it.
yeah,
It worked.
Worked very well.
It worked.
yeah.
You know what the funny part about that was? We were over at the farm show walking around. How many booths did we go into?
A lot of field tall booths up there.
Yeah, well, a lot of field tile plows up there.
Plows, yes.
And every one of them knew me but one.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they everybody knew me up there with one. But okay, so if what we did failed, like who cares?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what's the big deal?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't take risk, you'll never get anywhere, right? We had some failures along that build. We showed those failures, and
Yep.
everybody was like, I guess the lifting guys, like, that's why you should have drew it out on CAD. It was still cheaper for me to cut a second
Yeah.
ear and put it on there than
And you're still coming out with modifications for year 2 here, so.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like YouTube, most of the time when I get on it, now for granted, I have no internet at my house. It's terrible. The only thing I got's a phone and getting service out there. So usually if I'm on videos, it's usually on something when I'm working on my truck or putting the distributor in, getting everything turned right.
Right.
I get on YouTube for more helpful stuff. Then I go to Facebook.
Well, I think you guys bring up a great point with Whistling Diesel. There's a lot of channels out there like him. Some people love him for the entertainment value. Some of them hate him because he destroys nice tractors and cars. But
Yeah.
if you don't like it, just don't watch.
Yeah.
If you don't like us, don't watch.
Yeah. Yep.
It's that simple to turn it on or
Don't
off.
bash us for,
Right. I got.
because you're not forced to sit there and watch it.
Well, I get the comments a lot of time that basically want me to change who I am. I'm not changing who
Yeah.
I am.
Same way. I mean, you may have to get rid of me.
Well, I get a lot of comments. I give you or Matt a hard time, or I make fun of you for being short, or I call Matt the wrong name. I do the exact same thing if the camera's off.
Yeah.
Like that is our relationship.
Well, I've done poking fun of him today about being short. So.
Yeah, I mean, like that's
He's not even tall enough to get a CDL, so I didn't know why he was in the truck.
Yeah.
it's that's who we are. That is
Yeah.
the reality of what we do. That is our relationship. We're not making it up. It's not drama. It's not any of that stuff. It's what it is. So
I think there's one more aspect of social media we've forgotten about this evening, and that's what SOT Metalworks doing. Look where social media has grown his business. You know, just from cutting signs there. He's not making thousands of dollars on YouTube.
You bring up a good point.
But he has promoted his business so much on the backside.
He is definitely not making, I shouldn't say definitely, but his primary source of income is not sponsorship or AdSense revenue. It is selling products. But he's able to do that. And one of the biggest growing areas right now in general is digital media marketing, which social media falls into digital media marketing. So if you can start a channel, well, twofolds of that. If you can start a channel and creating an avenue where people can use you for digital media marketing. There's a source of revenue, sponsorship. But the flip side of that is if you have a small business like Junior, or if you have a product you want to push, look at a social media influencer in that area. So if you're in the makeup world, look at makeup influencers. If you're in the tractor world, look at the farming guys. If you're in the excavating world, look at us. And there's other products like Super Clean that, they've done a good job of being across all kinds of different platforms. And the other thing I always caution anybody that wants to appear on the channel is everybody wants to know how much for a 30-second ad. And I'm like, well, I don't know if the more times you can appear, the more chances you have to see more people, and the more times you can be in front of the same people, the more likely they are to act. So it's like you're better off just having a product and not asking for it to be in a 30-second one-time video. But, hey, can you keep that in the back? Yankum Ropes does that. Like, hey, can you just hang up a banner in the background and get me in as many videos as possible? Which he never did send me my banner, by the way.
Ain't got it yet.
It's a comment generator to leave out hanging in the back.
But, I think that sometimes is more productive than just saying it or cramming it down your throat or however that.
Well, these flags has brought more comments to you in this shop because they claim they're
I've hung them flags 3 different ways and I still ain't hung them right.
Still ain't hung them right. No.
So at some point you just gotta leave them be, right? That's the main thing. So I mean, my personal opinion, guys, all in all, is social media is an awesome tool to connect with friends. It's an awesome tool for entertainment. It's an awesome tool for education. And I think to any extent, somebody can create content on it and go. You bring up a great point with Junior.
Yeah, and back on that, I know I was checking. So you talk about friends. Now, I know everybody, I've been really lucky because I've not had the problems other people have had. Everybody that I've met or talked to, may have a few that got a pretty negative comment on me, but I mean, I delete them. I delete them before you see them. You delete them before I can see them, but
I don't want your feelings hurt.
For the most part, I've met a lot of great people.
Oh yeah,
a lot of great people through YouTube.
YouTube is. Michael said it before. YouTube does a very good job putting like-minded people together.
Yeah, and
going back to going down a rabbit hole, they know what you spend your time. Doing and what you like watching, and they know who else does the same thing, and you end up crossing paths, which is a great thing.
Now, do you think viewers go too far on the extent to get out and meet YouTube creators or social media creators?
That's an interesting question, Farmer Chris.
Millennial Farmer's got no trespassing signs on his driveway. Obviously they're there for a reason.
Yeah, we've had some issues here in Derby too.
I've run into them at the Derby store. It's people knows me, and I don't even know who they are. You can't see me on their side of the screen.
I think it's a few bad apples gives everybody a bad name type scenario again, because we have met some awesome people that watch us, and I appreciate people who support the channel.
Yep, I agree.
But we've had a few people that have been inappropriate, and that definitely makes you put your guard up a little bit. I always caution people, like, if you see us at a social media influencer event, we are there to meet you. We will take time to talk to you and hang out and do what we can within reason. I'm just going to use this as an example, but if you show up at the Derby Market, we're in the middle of a work day.
Yeah.
If I got 5 seconds or a little bit of time, I'll definitely say hi to you and appreciate you being there, but please don't be mad at me for hammering down. There's been a few instances where people have stopped by and they hold you up for half an hour, 45 minutes that I didn't have time to give that day. Now, with that being said, if you see me down there, come say hi.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say, too.
Depending on how bad the job is, I might stay there a couple hours talking to you.
I mean, come say hi. Like, I want to say hi.
Yeah.
I want to meet you. But please don't get mad at me if I got to get back to work.
I was at the tractor pull Saturday night at the farm show, and I was trying to watch the farm show, and out of the corner of my eye, about 3 rows over, every time I looked over, this guy's staring at me. What's he staring? I'm trying to look around. I don't know if he knew who I was, and just didn't want to come say nothing.
Yeah.
But
so that kind of going back in the beginning, that goes kind of both ways. You got bad apples on both sides. Like we were talking, people putting a bad taste in.
Yeah.
Bad
these
creators
counties.
and bad.
Yeah. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. That's like up at the farm show walking around. We had a handful of people that
Yeah.
stopped us and whatever. And there was a lot of people that seen who we were and didn't feel comfortable stopping, which is fine. But if we're at an event like that, like we usually don't mind
Because you're there, though.
because we're there for that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I went to the farm store to do work, but I was also there to meet people.
Yeah.
We're going to Vegas. That's the whole goal of
Yep.
being in Vegas. If we announce we're going to be somewhere, we're
wanna
fair.
reach
We're
out and
fair.
see us.
It's fair
Yeah.
game. Yeah. And by all means, come to Derby and visit and say hi or whatever. Just I can't tailor my schedule around you being there, especially if it's go time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So.
But you get some free Pepsis out of it.
I do.
I can't believe people buy a Pepsi, just leave set there for Dirt Perfect.
Hey man, I appreciate anything I can get. So
Yeah. My problem is like at home, I get told the same thing. I don't meet a stranger.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And everybody knows I like
well,
to talk.
Wade's the king of. If he's got time, we're going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
I always get the saying, I love to talk to people, but I hate neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when I go home, leave me alone. You know.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're creeping in on an hour. I don't know how we rambled on by this. It may not be worth listening to,
Yeah,
but
may not.
I don't know. I think it's just kind of cool to get our insights a little bit on different views of what's out there and just caution people, man. I tell people all the time, don't believe what you see on YouTube. Don't believe what you see on social media.
Yeah.
If you see something that strikes your interest, just take 5 minutes and research it.
Yeah.
There's so much information at your fingertips right now. Just see how legit it really is. There is a lot of scary things going on right now, and unfortunately some of them are true, but don't run with the first thing you stumble across. So just a reminder, meet and greet. We will be in Vegas. Everybody but Farmer Chris.
Yep.
That'll be March 5th.
babysitter.
March 5th. 15th. March 15th at 3:30 at the Volvo booth, Festival Op. We're going to do a small little meet and greet at our local fair July 8th.
In Tell City.
I believe myself and my crew will be there. I think Clint from CNC is going to be there. And Chris Let's Dig's talking about trying to make a trip in if we got some stuff going on that time.
I'll be on the fairgrounds, but I don't know if I can get tied down.
We'll get you there, at least for a few seconds anyways. We talked Chris into letting us do this up there, so we got to hope at least 5 people show up. We're going to be pretty
Oh, yeah.
embarrassed if nobody
Yeah.
shows up. I do want to point out the one at the fairgrounds will be free if you get there before. The one at the fairgrounds is going to be at 3:30,
I think it starts at 3,
and you guys take gate at 3:30.
and we take gate at 3:30 or something like
Is there
that.
going to be any new events going on that day up there?
We've got the tractor pull
Tractor
again
pull.
that night. So,
Tractor pulls that night?
yep,
Yep.
motocross is night before if you want to come into town.
Yep.
So now, if you get there after 3:30, it's what
$10 a person.
$10 a person. So
But that's to help cover the cost of the tractor
yeah,
pull. So.
but the whole point of that one up there is if you go to Common Expo to see us, you're probably going to spend thousands. If you go to the Utility Equipment Expo, you're probably going to spend $500 to $1,000. If you want a free trip, if you want a place to show up and see us for free, it's going to be the Perry
Come to
County
Perry County Fairgrounds.
Fairgrounds. So that was kind of the thing, you know. Fairgrounds give us a spot up there. We're hoping you buy a cheeseburger while you're in town, so help them out a little bit. But for people that don't want to spend a buku of money to
Yep.
come see us, that's going to be the place to do it. And honestly, they'll probably have more one-on-one time at the fairgrounds
Yeah.
than what they will
It'll
some
be
of
a
these other
smaller
ones,
crowd,
smaller
yeah.
crowds. So
Yeah.
that'll be great as well. But no, appreciate you guys listening. And
We're going to have to get that engineer on the right clock and reschedule
I
this next
got more material now.
Yeah.
He's already fighting a losing battle, and he hasn't even showed up for war yet. So, all right, that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.
Man behind the scenes rules.